Good morning, everybody. It's Sinead with Free Tours by FTBFLondon. I'm standing in the stunning neighbourhood of Earl's Court. And today we're going to take an adventure north, south, east, west, central London. I'm taking you to everywhere because today our tour is all about Princess Diana, Her Royal Highness, the former Princess of Wales. Now, it still amazes me to this day. All the requests I get all the time for a tour on Princess Diana and the locations we most associate with her in London. Today we're going to break it down. We're going to start from the very beginning. We're going to talk about her wedding, her divorce, where she lived, memorials to her, where she ate, where she drank, and we all know she liked a good night out. We're going to be speaking about Freddie Mercury, Kenny Everett, her friends. So join me in the footsteps of the most famous woman in the world, even to this day. So let's try and dedicate this one to her memory, and hopefully you'll enjoy this. And we're going to start immediately with her very first apartment in London. So we're going to start here from where it all began for Diana, Princess Diana. This is Coleherne Court, and we'll see the blue plaque in just a moment. I'm going to bring you right across the road, but as a young girl, for her 18th birthday, her mother bought her an apartment here on Old Brompton Road here in Earl's Court. And Diana lived in here for a little under 2 years. She moved out in February 1981, and she shared this apartment with 3 of her girlfriends. But a lot of you will remember this is where she was incessantly pursued by the paparazzi as a very young girl. But this is where it all began for her at the tender age of 18. Can you believe that? An apartment here with her 3 girlfriends, and you'll see the circular blue plaque that's dedicated to her. She lived here from 1979 to 1981. Now, the proximity to Kensington Palace is quite near here, which we know she lived in her later years. So we're also going to be taking a little jaunt around High Street, Kensington, to some of her favourite eateries in London. So stay tuned. We've got a lot coming up today with a lot of iconic sites showing you oh god, they're very bold around here. They'll be always hooting horns. All the iconic sites and memorials dedicated to Princess Diana. Now, another royal residence closely associated with the then Princess Diana is this White House behind the trees, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clarence House. Clarence House has been home to the Queen Mother. It's been home to Queen Elizabeth II and her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh. But Princess Diana spent her night before her wedding inside here. And I enjoy this story. She didn't get a wink of sleep because there was millions of people lining the Mall here in anticipation to get a glimpse of the 20-year-old princess on her wedding day. And it's from here she left, and that morning apparently she woke up exhausted, and all her makeup artists and hairdressers and the designer Emmanuel arrived to fit her in that magnificent creation of the wedding dress. And this is where she left before that beautiful day, the wedding of the century. The most famous woman in the world, the most photographed woman in the world. This is the house right behind here where she spent her last night before she became the then Princess of Wales. The soldiers just having one of their little drills. It's still a royal residence, of course. Now it's home to King Charles, currently still living in here, and he is presently in residence. Clarence House on the Mall. Our next stop on our Diana tour is the stunning backdrop of the Sir Christopher Wren masterpiece at St. Paul's Cathedral. We're on a Wednesday afternoon on the 29th of July 1981. Millions of people lined the streets to see the then Lady Diana Spencer marry her prince, Prince Charles. A spectacular event which was attended by states, heads of state, prime ministers, presidents, kings and queens from all over the world, and broadcast to 750 million, billed as the wedding of the century. I, even as a young girl myself at the tender age of 6, dreamed one day of becoming a princess. And sometimes we forget how young the girl was. At the tender age of 20, she stepped out of her carriage onto the steps of St. Paul's here. Kind of a break from tradition, considering that most of the royal weddings always took place at Westminster Abbey. But the then Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer chose St. Paul's because it had more seating and it was a larger venue and it was a longer procession to accommodate all the crowds that had come out to see her. And she stepped out and walked up the steps of St. Paul's in that stunning 25-foot train behind her, an image that still remains iconic to this day. The service itself was conducted by the Dean of St. Paul's, of course, and in attendance as well, the Archbishop of Canterbury. And what a special day it was. On a rainy day in London, today, this, the masterpiece of Sir Christopher Wren and the venue for the wedding of the century. After Diana's marriage to the then Prince of Wales, King Charles III now, in July of 1981, the couple moved into the apartments at Kensington Palace. The double apartment on the north side of the palace would remain her home for the rest of her life. After the couple's divorce, her private offices were moved to the palace. Kensington Palace became the focal point for a public mourning after her tragic death, when millions of flowers and tributes were left outside the building's gates by visitors from all over the world. But more on that later. So the private residences of the wing are behind the tree here. So that's where apartment 1A would be, 8A, 8B, Nottingham Cottage, Ivy Cottage. Now next on the list is Launceston Place. Just in this quiet little neighbourhood here, as you take a left off Gloucester Road, you will find what is said to be Princess Diana's favourite restaurant. Known as a local favourite for years and known for classic British cooking, the restaurant hosted the princess countless times throughout the years, even going so far as to naming a dish after her, the Soufflé Diana, which is sadly no longer on the menu. Now, another restaurant said to be closely associated with Princess Diana, when she lived quite locally in the vicinity near Kensington Palace, was right here, the Bombay Brasserie. Now, known for its fine dining Indian cuisine, Princess Diana is said to have dined here several occasions. It's been, dishing up delicious Indian cuisine for almost 40 years. But a favourite haunt of her and her friends, Cleo Rocos, Kenny Everett and Freddie Mercury, who also live locally, the group of four would reportedly often come here specifically to drink the peach bellinis. Oh, to be a fly on the wall for that one, ladies and gents. Located just across the road here from Gloucester Road Station, the stunning Bombay Brasserie. Next, we want to show you where the royal family shopped here in London at St. James's Street, has been the official shopping district of the royal family since the Hanoverian dynasty. A favourite with almost all members of the royal family, Lock & Co has been providing headwear for London's rich and famous since the 17th century. Said to be the oldest hat shop in the world. It also made hats for Lord Nelson, Winston Churchill, Charlie Chaplin and Oscar Wilde. They were all customers here, as was Princess Diana. Many of Diana's hats were custom designed for her here at this shop, and today the company still holds a royal warrant as they still create hats for the royal family's favourite engagements throughout the year.
So that's a Cambridge, so that's what Churchill would have worn.
That was a Cambridge, perfect.
And they're very solid. So,
they are, aren't they? Oh wow, they are.
Yeah, so no one's head is a perfect oval, so we have to make sure it fits perfectly. So.
And this is what the conform is then to determine that.
Exactly.
And these are all the high-profile people that have
these are
shopped in here.
all of our famous customers from over the years.
So let's get you a few of them. Kenneth Branagh, there's Faye Ivory, the Duke of Bedford. We have the Princess of Wales, there's Princess Diana. Now this isn't her own signature, is it? No, that's the shots. Sure, yeah, okay. No. And one of the more stunning palaces and most historic palaces in London actually is St. James's Palace, and its close connections with Diana. Well, there's several reasons why we are stopping here today on our Diana walk. After the divorce between Princess Diana and the then Prince Charles, she was allowed to retain her apartment in Kensington Palace. That became her home. But she was also allowed to use the state apartments here in St. James's Palace. But years later, of course, in a more sombre and fitting tribute to Diana, she was laid in state here for 5 days before her very public funeral in Westminster Abbey. And that is also the precise reason that Prince George and Prince Louis of Wales were both baptised in the chapel of St. James's Royal of St. James's Palace as a fitting tribute to Diana. The tragic turn of events that occurred that morning on the 31st of August 1997 that shook the world was the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, when she died from injuries sustained earlier that night in a fatal car crash in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris. Diana's partner, Dodi Fayed, at the time also died in the crash, as did the driver of the Mercedes-Benz W140, Henry Paul. A tragic event that shook the world. The death of Princess Diana is probably the most shocking event in our lifetime. It's kind of one of those events where you remember where you were. You know, it's like when Elvis Presley died, or when Reagan was shot, or where John F. Kennedy was shot. You always remember when you first heard about the death of Diana. And of course, this is where people came in their thousands, ladies and gents. I mean, the flower tributes came as far as here to Princess Diana. They opened up a book of condolences for her, and they had to keep the palace open for 24 hours because the streams of people that kept coming, and there's an outpouring of grief and mass hysteria in the country. And you'll all remember this. But they all came here to pay their respects, and I think it was quite of a shock to everyone in the world how loved she actually was. Everyone felt like a personal connection towards her, didn't they, really? Now, we all know Westminster Abbey has had a long association, being a royal peculiar with the royal family, and Diana was no exception. She attended numerous services at Westminster Abbey throughout her time as the Princess of Wales. But it was perhaps her final association with the church that became her most enduring, as the Abbey was the location of the funeral of Princess Diana. On the 6th of September 1997, Diana's coffin was transported on an escorted gun carriage from Kensington Palace to Westminster Abbey. 2,000 people attended the ceremony, and it is estimated that over 2 billion people worldwide watched the service on TV, marking one of the biggest televised events in history. The princess was buried at Althorpe, the Spencer estate, where the princess grew up, on a private island in the middle of an ornamental lake, kept away from the public. So you guys, you can see the palace is off there in the distance, but don't worry, we're just going to walk in that direction. There's quite a few people have arrived here today to see the floral tributes to Princess Diana. So I just want to show you the gates here. How beautiful it is. Now, we're not entirely sure if Prince Harry has left just yet, but the statue itself was created by a sculptor by the name of Ian Rankin Broadley. Ian Rank Broadley. And he has a long established relationship with the royal family, but I just wanted to show you some of the floral tributes here and some of the actual, let's just say, obsessive royalists. These guys always show up for the weddings and the big occasions. Now, whether they're waiting for Prince Harry and Prince William possibly to come out and greet them, because they did that usually on their birthday every year. See them all set up here. Some beautiful tributes to her there, you guys. I don't want to walk in front of people, but I will get you a proper view in just a moment. If I can get into the center over here. So I'll give you Princess Diana 60. Thinking of Princess Diana on her birthday, it's hard to forget someone who gave us so much to remember. So we'll just get up maybe a little bit closer so I can show you some of the tributes and the floral tributes people have left. And of course you have Kensington Palace in the background. Now I'm hoping we'll get to see the statue. I have to find my way towards it. Isn't it gorgeous through here, you guys? I've seen this guy in the British suit, so...
If you stand here. Yeah. Sorry, I won't be too long.
You're grand. She has a beautiful rosetta of Princess Diana on her as well.
You want to face me? Is the flash turn off, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
My
alright?
pleasure.
Imagine 60 years old.
I know, 60 yesterday, yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
I can't believe it.
This is the back of the statue. So unfortunately we're not actually allowed into the sunken garden itself, but what we will do is go in the opposite direction and I will maximize it so you can get a better view of it. But what a beautiful garden. So that's the back. Now let's go around here and we'll head around and see what I can do. And here we have again, so I have time to read it now. Diana, Princess of Wales, lived in Kensington Palace for 15 years and admired the seasonal display in the sunken garden, often stopping to talk to the gardeners. Her sons, the Duke of Cambridge and the Duke of Sussex, commissioned the statue in memory of the princess, unveiling it on the 1st of July 2021, which would have been her 60th birthday. A poem chosen to remember their mother is inset in the paving. And here's the poem, folks. These are the units to measure the worth of this woman as a woman, regardless of birth. Not what was her station, but had she a heart? How did she play her God-given part? The planting is romantic and stylish, with viewpoints along the cradle walk designed to create a tranquil space to appreciate the garden and remember the princess. Now, so we have a little bit of her. Hopefully, if we maximize it here, but it's the best I can do, you guys. I'm so sorry.
I haven't got any.
Didn't have much option, I'm afraid. We are not allowed to enter into the garden itself, but you get the idea. Beautiful, tranquil setting, and a very fitting tribute to Diana, Princess of Wales. And as previously mentioned, Diana maintained an apartment in Kensington Palace until her death. So it was fitting then that London's official tribute statue to the late Princess of Wales was built in the sunken garden at Kensington Palace. This was unveiled by her sons on what would have been her 60th birthday in 2021. Commissioned by Princess William and Harry, the statue was designed by sculptor Ian Rankin Broadley and depicts the princess amongst children, highlighting her special bond with the young people she worked with throughout her charity endeavours. The gardens surrounding the statue were completely replanted in 2019, with over 4,000 new flowers introduced, including forget-me-nots said to be Diana's favourite flower, and white tulips, lavender, dahlias and sweet peas. The statue received mixed reviews from critics, but has been a popular visitor attraction with the general public here at Kensington Gardens. Over here is what is called the Diana Princess Memorial. And it's a fountain of water which rages and meets together, and then is quite serene and tranquil when it meets this body of water. And here is a wonderful picture of her. Actually, I want to show you right up here. I mean, they picked a beautiful shot of her. Welcome to the Diana Princess Memorial Fountain. And this was opened by the Queen on the 6th of July in 2004. It's actually 445 pieces of Cornish granite. And they say it was designed to reflect the chaos and the serene and calm towards the end life of Princess Diana. Now it is closed at the moment, but you are normally allowed to walk around it. So keep that on your list as well. The Diana Princess Memorial Fountain. Now, for a more in-depth look at the life of Princess Diana in London, on the 30th of June in 2000, a day before what would have been her 39th birthday, this was unveiled by Alec Peaver, and these are 90 plaques featured on a 7-mile Princess Diana Memorial walk through London, which features all the major sites associated with Diana and all the favourite places and spots she loved in London. So for those of you that are keen walkers, this is a beautiful stroll through 4 royal parks and several of the royal palaces. You'll see these dotted around everywhere, and it points you in the right direction on that 7-mile journey. Now, hopefully this video did justice to the people's princess, a legend, the most famous and photographed woman in the world. Princess Diana's life cut short in such tragic events. Hopefully, you can walk in her footsteps and relive some of her happiest memories in London. Diana, Princess of Wales, may she rest in peace. Sinead signing out here with free tours by FTBFLondon. See you all soon.
Do you think you will ever be Queen?
No, I don't. No.
Why do you think that?
I'd like to be a queen of people's hearts, in people's hearts. But I don't see myself being queen of this country. I don't think many people would want me to be queen. Actually, when I say many people, I mean the establishment that I'm married into. Because they've decided that I'm a non-starter.
Why do you think they've decided that?
Because I do things differently. Because I don't go by a rule book. Because I lead from the heart, not the head. And albeit that's got me into trouble in my work, I understand that. But someone's got to go out there and love people and show it.